Hello everybody, in this video I will introduce trigonometry to you. I will tell you what is sin, cos and tan. Now what is trigonometry? It is the branch of mathematics which deals with the relationship between the sides and angles of a triangle. The word trigonometry comes from the Greek words trigonom and metron. Trigonom means triangle, metron means a measurement. Therefore, when you put them together, it's triangles measurement. Therefore, trigonometry, the measuring of triangles. It's important to note that here in grade 10, we predominantly work with right angle triangles, and this is where we're going to use the basic sin, cos and tan. And then later on in grade 11 and 12, we will still use sin, cos and tan. We will use the cosine rule, the sine rule, the area rule, and then we will look at non-right angle triangles. Without you even realizing it, in grade 8 and 9, your life was perfect. I would give you this yellow triangle, a right angle triangle, and then I would ask you, give the size of angle A. Now, with your knowledge, you can clearly see that angle A is 60 degrees because there was a theorem that said angles of a triangle are supplementary. And then on the right hand side, in this right angle triangle, the purple triangle, if the question was maybe give the length of km, then without you realizing it, you had enough information to use the theorem of Pythagoras to find the length of km. So you would say, let's do it, km squared is equal to ml squared plus lk squared, and you would add, that's Pythagoras' theorem. Substitute the values, 15 squared plus 20 squared, 225 plus 400 is 625, but on the left hand side you want km, not km squared, so you will take the square root both sides, and then in the end km was 25 in your perfect world. Now, here with me in grade 10, this is where the problem starts. If I give you this triangle ABC, again, it's a right angle triangle, suddenly I only give you one angle, the size of one angle, and the size of one side. So now this becomes complicated, where how will you find the length of AB or the length of AC? It's easy to find the size of angle A. You can still use your old knowledge, but then this is now where Trig comes in. This is where I will teach you how to use your calculator and the three buttons here, sin, cos and tan, to work out the lengths of sides or to work out the size of the angles. Before moving on to Trig, now I first need to discuss a few things with you. When denoting angles, we use either capital letters or we use Greek letters. So for instance, on the left hand side, we can label the triangle A, B, C like that. Or with Greek letters, that symbol is alpha. Let's call that angle alpha. You can call any angle alpha. Let's make that one beta. That's the symbol for beta, and that's the symbol for theta. Then I want to take you back to the left-hand side. On that triangle, we can also label the sides in a different way. So what you can do is you can also call side CB little a, and we say since the side CB is opposite angle big A, then suddenly we call that one little a. Or we can also say that since this side AC is opposite big angle B, we can call AC little b. And then obviously we can call the hypotenuse, remember the hypotenuse is the side that's opposite the right angle. There you go. So since side AB, the hypotenuse, is opposite big angle C, we can call that side little c. The sides of a right angle triangle are labeled with reference to the angle that you are looking at. So when you go to the left hand side triangle, that's a right angle triangle, and then if you zoom in on angle beta here, then the side that is directly opposite the 90-degree angle is always the hypotenuse. And then going to beta, that side will be the adjacent side, and that side will be beta's opposite side. Now, if you go to the second right angle triangle there, you can see beta is a different angle now. Then the hypotenuse is still the side opposite the right angle, but with reference to beta, that will be beta's opposite side, and that side will be beta's adjacent side. Now let's start with the trig ratios. First of all, I have a little sketch for you there, and we say this angle theta is the angle in standard position, and there's a right angle triangle that lives in the first quadrant. Now the first trig ratio is sine theta, and you always write the angle together with the word sine, and then sine has a fixed ratio, and the ratio for sine is always the opposite side over the hypotenuse, or we can also write it as O over H, and we will remember that. The second trig ratio is cos theta, and cos has a fixed ratio, and the ratio is always the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So we can abbreviate that by saying cos theta is equal to A over H. And the last trig ratio for now is tan theta, and tan's ratio is always the opposite side divided by the adjacent side, and the abbreviation for tan will be O over A. Now in this slide I'm going to first teach you how to write the trigonometric ratios. Now the question says give the following ratios, and if you look at your sketch, your triangle ABC, first you have to indicate the sides. Now remember, this side, this will be little a. It's called little a because the side is opposite angle A. That is side B, little b, because it's opposite angle B. And that is side little c because it's opposite angle C. Now, the question is sin A. So you go to angle A and you say, what is sin's ratio? Sin's ratio is opposite over hypotenuse. Therefore, it's A over C. Cos B. Now you go to B. Cos's ratio is adjacent over hypotenuse. Therefore, it's A over C. And then tan A, we are back at angle A. Tan's ratio is opposite over adjacent. Therefore, A over B. In the next triangle, KLM, let's fill in the sides first. So side K, little k will be the side that's opposite angle K. Little l will be the side opposite angle L, and little m the side opposite angle M. Now we can start. The first one, sin theta. So we go to theta. Sin's ratio is opposite over hypotenuse, therefore K over L. Cos theta, so we stay at theta. Cos's ratio is adjacent over hypotenuse, therefore M over L. And the last one, tan alpha, we go to alpha, and tan's ratio is opposite over adjacent, in other words, M over K. Trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios can be used to determine an unknown length or angle in a right-angled triangle. And then here on your sketch, there in standard position, you find theta. Then this side R is the hypotenuse. The one that's adjacent to theta is X, and then the one that's opposite theta is Y, since it is parallel to the Y-axis. The trigonometric ratios are defined as follows. Sin theta's ratio is opposite over hypotenuse, or Y over R. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, or X over R. Tan theta is opposite over adjacent, Y over X. And you must remember them. So in other words, you must remember that sin theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, or Y over R. In the next lesson, I will show you how to work out the lengths of the sides of a triangle using trigonometry and your calculator. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next lesson.